How about a little Wolf of the Wolf Street kind of thing? I think it's time to do a little Wolf Street. It's been a little while, and ain't nothing to really talk about the crypto market now, is there? Not yet. But every piece of woo-woo thing that I'm part of, study, whatever, hear about, is pointing that December should really reverse what we've just seen big time in the crypto market. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see on that. Every person on YouTube, every crypto personality, if you will, on YouTube. I was talking with some people today. There's not one single YouTuber that's a crypto guy that has had positive comments on their videos lately. And as a matter of fact, have increased substantially the negative comments across the board. JStep4, no exception. I understand your feelings. I understand that pain and I want to see your portfolio down. There's nothing I can do right now to make you feel any better other than tell you just freaking wait. Or if you can't take it anymore and you sell off, as they say, it's only a loss if and when you choose to sell at that time. Joe, are you going to sell? Are you kidding me? I'm ready to buy more. I told you I'm going to watch this market over the next several days, and then I'm going to make a decision of, is this a good point to get in? Do I think it's going to, does it look like it's going more? What? I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, Wolf Street. Subprime rises. Credit card delinquencies blow through financial crisis peak, in other words, 2008, 9, 10, at the 4,705 smaller U.S. banks. So what's going on here? In the third quarter, the delinquency rate on credit card loan balances at commercial banks other than the largest 100 banks, so the delinquency rate at the 4,705 smaller banks in the U.S., spiked to 6.2%. This exceeds the peak during the financial crisis for these banks, which was 5.9%, now it's 6.2%. The credit card charge-off rate at these banks, at 7.4% in the third quarter, has now been above 7% for 5 quarters in a row. During the peak of the financial crisis, the charge-off rate for these banks was above 7%, 4 quarters, and not in a row, with a peak of 8.9%. These numbers that the Federal Reserve Board of Governors reported Monday afternoon are likely a cold shower in consumer land where debt levels are considered to be in good shape. But wait, it gets complicated. The credit card delinquency rate at the largest 100 commercial banks was 2.48%, not seasonally adjusted. These 100 banks, due to their sheer size, carry the lion's share of credit card loans, and this caused the overall credit card delinquency rate for the commercial banks combined to tick up to a still soothing 2.54%. So in other words, the overall banking system is not at risk, the mega banks are not at risk, and no bailouts are needed, but the most vulnerable consumers, we'll get to why they may end up at smaller banks, are falling apart. Credit card balances are deemed delinquent when they are 30 days or more past due. Balances are removed from the delinquency basket when the customer cures the delinquency, or when the bank charges off the delinquent balance. The rate is figured as a percent of total credit card balances. In other words, among the smaller banks at the end of quarter 3, 6.2% of the outstanding credit card balances were in fact delinquent. So what is going on here? The credit card business is immensely profitable. Jesus, they charge what, 23%, 29%, 29% APR, cash back. What's in your wallet? Cash back, baby. You earned 3% cash back on all those? Yeah, I did. Oh, wow, cool. So you got a little bonus nest egg building up in there. Yeah. How much is your interest rate? 29%. So the cash back, 3%, 29, 28, 27, 26. So essentially you're paying 26%. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Exactly. How stupid. So it says the credit card business is immensely profitable, and so banks are willing to take some risks. It's immensely profitable for the following 3 reasons. The fee the bank extracts from every transaction undertaken with its credit cards, merchant pays. even if the credit card holder pays off the balance every month and never incurs any interest expense, right? Fee, 3% fee, 2.9% fee, 1.9% fee to swipe the card. They're getting paid. Number two, the fees the bank extracts from credit card holders, such as annual fees, late fees, like I said, 29%, 26%, oh, late fee, another percentage or fee, fine. And number three here, the huge spread between the bank's cost of funding and the interest rates banks charge on credit cards. So how long is the bank's cost of funding? Not long, excuse me, how low is the bank's cost of funding? For example, in its third quarter regulatory filing with the SEC, the 10Q, Wells Fargo disclosed that it had $1.73 trillion in funding sources. This amount was used to fund $1.73 trillion in earning assets, such as loans to its customers or securities it had invested in. This $1.73 trillion in funding was provided mostly by deposits, $465 billion in non-interest-bearing deposits or free money, and $907 billion in interest-bearing deposits, for a total of $1.37 billion of ultra-cheap funding from deposits. That would be you and me. In addition to its deposits, Wells Fargo lists $353 billion in other sources of funding, short-term and long-term borrowing, such as bonds it issued. For all sources of funding combined, so on the $1.37 trillion, the total funding cost, ready for this? 0.87%. I'm sorry, did you just say 0. Yes, I did. Not even 1%. Nearly free money. Rate hikes, no problem. In quarter three, Wells Fargo credit card balances outstanding carried an average interest rate of 12.77%. So, with its costs of funding at 0.87% and the average interest rate of 12.77% on its credit card balances, Wells Fargo is making an interest margin on credit cards of nearly 12%. In other words, this is an immensely profitable business. Hence, the incessant credit card promos. With credit cards, the U.S. banking system has split in two. The largest banks can offer the most attractive incentives on their credit cards, cashback, miles. Hey, see, I didn't know they were even going to talk about that. What's in your wallet? Oh, 3% cashback. Yeah, baby. 26% interest rate. Whoa. Wow. And thus attract the largest pool of applicants. Then they can reject those with higher credit risks, having not yet forgotten the lesson from the last debacle. The thousands of smaller banks cannot afford the same incentives and lack the marketing clout to attract this large pool of customers with good credit. So they market to customers with, well, less than stellar credit, or with subprime rated credit, and charge the extremely high interest rates. 30% sounds like a deal, even if the customer will eventually buckle under that interest rate and will have to default. That's why banks take the risks of higher charge-offs. They're getting paid for them. But at some point, it gets expensive. And if it takes a smaller bank to the brink, the FDIC might swoop in on a Friday evening and shut it down. No biggie. As a matter of fact, it happens routinely. I used to report on those. You will find some JSNP4 videos from years gone by about, oh, Friday FDIC is shotgun married off 2 more banks and gave them to this bigger bank, you know, with a deal that the FDIC insurance is going to kick in for this much money, but the other bank that's getting all the customers and the accounts, they're going to have to pitch in this much money to get that account. And I just haven't done it in quite a while. I mean, there's no need. It's a never-ending cycle anyways. So, where we go? Where were we? Here we go. No biggie, happens routinely. The real problem with credit cards isn't the banks. Credit card debt is not big enough to topple the U.S. banking system. It's the consumers and what it says about the health of consumers. The overall numbers give a falsely calming impression. Credit card debt and other revolving credit has reached $1 trillion, not seasonally adjusted. This is about flat with the prior peak a decade ago, you know, during the crisis. Since the prior peak of credit card debt in 2008, the U.S. population has grown by 20 million people, and there has been a decade of inflation and nominal wage increases, and so the overall credit card burden per capita is far lower today than it was in 2008, though student loans and auto loans have shot through the roof. So, no problem? But this overall data hides the extent to which the most vulnerable consumers are getting into trouble with their credit cards, having borrowed too much at usurious whatever rates. That's usury. Now I just lost my place. Where we go? Oh, here we go. The dog's down there playing. You hear that yapping? The dog's down there playing. They'll never be able to pay off or even just service those balances. For them, there's only one way out, the default. And that's when J-Snip comes out. Another bone bites the dust. Another retail outlet, but this is a consumer. So I can't do that for all the people defaulting because it's not like breaking news. Hey, John Smith of Tampa, Florida has defaulted today. Yeah, it doesn't work. It only works in like big retail chains and malls and things, You know what I'm saying? The fact that this process is now taking on real momentum, as demonstrated by delinquency rates spiking at smaller banks, shows that the group of consumers that are falling apart is expanding. And these are still the good times, right? Of low unemployment in a growing economy. I will tell you some stat that kind of threw me off here that I wasn't expecting. We've added 20 million more people to the population in this country in 10 years, which means in another 10 years it'll probably be even more than that. And I'm hearing, birth rates are down and this and that. Well, something's going on here. We just added 20 million Americans in the last 10 years. That's why that country real estate at some point, land, get your own space. When I was looking for houses, remember, this is last year, crypto market was starting to move a bit, and I started thinking, man, let me start looking at some real estate, because this is a real possibility that we can move out of here, Evelyn, and get a freaking house. And, with crypto profits and stuff. So I start poking around, and I'm like, look, Tampa area, Brandon, whatever, a little north, south, it's everywhere. Okay, that's a little too far away from the house. If I had to drive to work every day, that's too far, all right, let's look around. There's houses everywhere, foreclosures, everything, all over Zillow. So I said, well, I would like a little acreage. Show me anything like with a minimum of like 2 acres to whatever, just as high as it goes. And then a funny thing happened. All the dots on the map went away. And there were just little sporadic ones. Here's one, there's one over here. Whoa. So I've got, 20 to choose from. Like maybe not 20, but probably more than that. But it just shows you how we're so packed on top of each other. Every piece of decent land that's got some land on it, housing, is gone or is extremely expensive. Because I also put in a price. Well, show me between this price range. And at the time, this house came up, and I'm like, well, okay, I can't really afford that house. However, it would be kind of cool if cryptos went up, because if I could afford if I have cryptos, I could get the down payment. I couldn't make those payments though. And next thing you know, I send to my wife. It's just don't get the kids excited. It's a nice house, but this could be a real possibility in the future if cryptos really take off. I didn't know that just a few short weeks later, Veritasium was exploding, massively profitable for me. My credit score had been wiped clean, no foreclosure on there anymore. And all these, stars aligned for Jay Snip and his family. It's an amazing story. I told my buddy Joe, the movie guy, I'm like, dude, when you get going with your production company, I'm not trying to be a star. Matter of fact, you want someone else to play the role, get someone to play the role. But I have kind of an interesting story. I fought the banks, I did this, I did that, It'd be kind of a neat little, even if it's not maybe a documentary, I don't know, it'd be a real neat documentary, I think, or a movie or something. That'd be kind of cool. Again, I don't need this limelight. You can let someone else play the role. I'll just tell the story. Doesn't even matter. But I thought it'd be kind of cool, from rags to crypto riches or something. Although it's hard to even utter those words right now in that market. Crypto riches. What, Jay Snip? You seen the market? What are you, crazy? We will see how December goes. We will see. And if it sucks, hey, it sucks. But if it doesn't, and it roars up, and then a sell-off happens like Ben was thinking, Matrix portfolio, we be on to something magnificent. So, anyways, Uh, Again, this kind of thing is why I try to teach people about other things, other sources of income. Whether again CBD oil, I'm trying to sell that stuff. Description box below. CBD oil, uh, cryptos, what just other sources. Because if we rely on the same thing, I'll go find a 9 to 5 job and I'll just do this thing. It doesn't pay enough. Man, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. Not for me. I want more out of life. So I'm doing other things. What else can I do? And then I come out here on YouTube and tell you about it. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try that. And I got people doing the same stuff. It's great. But you also have people who just want that and don't want to work for it. You remember do you know the comedian Kevin Hart? Real funny guy. Little short black guy. He's been in several movies too. Funny as heck. Love that guy. I saw a thing before he was about to go on stage to do an act, comedic act, whatever. And they were showing him backstage getting ready with his boys, his little clique. And he said something out loud, like it was like their little, not huddle, but their huddle, right before they go on. They repeat it like 3 or 4 times. And then he's like, all right, let me go. And he says something, and the words were something like this. Everybody want to be famous, but nobody want to work for it. Everybody want to be famous, but nobody want to work for it. Everybody want to be famous, but nobody want to work for it. Boom, let's go. Because he's saying, I'm working for it. I'm trying everything. I'm doing different things. Now he's in movies. He's doing the comedian thing. The guy's set. And I'll be honest with you. I think 100% that man deserves it. 100%. Because he was trying and trying and trying and making little moves. That one didn't pan out. That one didn't pan out. That one didn't pan out. Finally started getting somewhere. So, but again, if you're happy in life, just being whatever your level of comfort or happiness or whatever, financial livelihood, hey, to each his own. But I see so many things in life. There's more, I want to go do things. I want to see things. I want to go treasure hunting. I want to do so J-Snip, you're going to have to earn a little more income than just your day job if you want to do things. So I'm trying, Patreon. Thank you, by the way, Patrons. I love you guys. And maybe you'll be getting a treasure bonus at some point, from Snippy as just a little bonus for fun, like I've said early on. But I got to find one first. But yeah, I mean, YouTube. I'm just doing different stuff, man. I can't sit still with this. Just seeing stuff. That way, if one of these sources goes away, my job, something happened. Oh, thank God I didn't have to rely on that. I got to go find some other job, and they don't pay me as good as I was getting paid in my last job, and no, my lifestyle changes, and man, that sucks to have to deal with. So, I just come out here, I tell you my life stories, I tell you the little jokes and riff-raff stories and jabroni stories and crypto this and treasure hunt over there. I'm going to go to the Litecoin conference. It's all good. I enjoy it, and I know a lot of you do enjoy me telling you these things. It's just interesting to see some guy doing stuff, making something out of life, I guess. But it's not so fun right now with cryptos. I get it. Believe me, I see everybody's comments, not even on my own channel. Listen to me. Let me just tell you in advance. Any crypto video that I've been doing over the last few days, I don't even go there I think I went on the very first one to say something, but I don't even go there to read your comments. All I got to do is hit, my videos, and it shows the list, and I look at the thumbs up, and I know what my normal thumbs down are, 20, 30, 37, whatever, which most come in the first 5 seconds of the video being up. Like there's a bot out there that just sits there and thumbs down me, these idiots that hate so bad. They have bots that go and thumbs down their people that they don't like. Get a freaking life. Freaking losers. But I know what the normal amount is. And then I go in there, there's 300 thumbs up and there's 210 thumbs down, whatever it is. Well, at least I got a little more thumbs up than thumbs down. But that's my sign. Joe, don't even go in there and read the comments. Just don't go there. Don't do it to yourself. Evelyn, don't even bother either. Me and my wife, we don't. No need to get all upset and amped up about stuff. Just let it go for now. It's a cycle. It's people's emotions. They can't hold it back. The market's really aggravating them. So it's all good. Still love all y'all. Those of you who are in a hateful mode right now, still love all y'all. All right? Take it easy.